Hey everyone, this is Blair and this is
Brian Mintz.
and we've got your IPMA Tip of the Week coming up right away. So stick around. This is going to be very important if you have anything to do with
Concrete repair.
oh my good lord, concrete repair, folks. Stick around. We'll be right back.
It's time for your IPMA Tip of the Week, brought to you by IPMA Academy, the most comprehensive online certification program for pavement managers on this planet. Here's your host, author of the Amazon #1 bestseller, The Book on Better Roads. This IPMA Tip of the Week is brought to you by charter members Whitaker Contracting. Click on their logo at itma.co for better roads across the Southeast.
So here we are. This is Blair with the International Pavement Management Association, and
Brian Mintz with Phoscrete Concretes.
let's tell our audience of pavement management rockstars a little bit about your company, Brian, and what you do for a living each day.
Well, I'm the Senior Vice President of Phoscrete Concretes. We're manufacturers of a MALP concrete repair material.
MALP.
MALP stands for Magnesium Alumino Liquid Phosphate. It's a special.
That sounds interesting.
It's a special kind of concrete repair material that has a lot of unique features and unique capabilities.
Yeah, amazing, truly amazing stuff. And Brian and I, no secret, we met almost a decade ago at one of the conferences somewhere. And
Pavement preservation.
yeah, Brian got the little pail out and did a little demonstration. We'll get a little bit of B-roll in here with one of the live demos with the pail and how quick the material sets up. Brian, there's three major types, right? So over the years, you've helped to get these three types out on the road. Let's talk a little bit about your background with the company and how this all evolved.
Well, I am a techie guy by trade, and I got involved in a company called Stellar Materials that was a manufacturer of Phoscrete and Thermbond, both of which used MALP concrete repair technology.
Okay.
The unique capabilities are that it's able to bond to existing concrete, so it repairs rather than replaces broken, damaged concrete.
That was one of the pictures you showed today. And by the way, kudos to you and your firm, one of the newest, if not the newest, charter members of IPMA. And we were here doing a little bit of a lunch and learn today for the Cherry Weber guys in New Jersey. So if, just as a side note, while you're listening to the Tip of the Week, if you're a consulting firm or a local agency or a state DOT, if you'd like Brian to come in and do a little PDH lunch and learn, get some pizza out, and actually see some of the photographs where the guy was sticking the material, that's the VO I guess you're going to talk about, Brian, but he was sticking it to the upper side, or the underside I should say, of a bridge parapet or a cross member, whatever you want to call it. But I couldn't believe how he just took the material and stuck it on there, and it like traveled it in, and that's the material sticking to the old concrete. It was truly amazing. I've never seen anything quite like it.
And it works.
It actually works, yeah. Imagine that. That's why people keep reordering it. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about the three different types of material that you guys have to offer.
Okay, well, we are, again, manufacturers of a MALP concrete repair material.
Okay.
They're all under the brand name Phoscrete. And Phoscrete is now an independent company, and I'm, again, the senior vice president of that company. So I've been involved in business development, pursuing all the markets for civil works repairs since 2009.
Yep.
Starting to get old. And we have three main products.
Okay.
One is called Phoscrete HC. And HC stands for horizontal castable.
Horizontal, so roadways.
It's a neat mix. It includes aggregates in the mix and reinforcing fibers, FRP fibers in the mix, as well as the binder system.
Okay.
The second product is called Phoscrete VO, stands for vertical and overhead.
Okay.
And it's designed in a smaller pail for patching, as opposed to mixing a big bag in a bucket and then dumping it in the hole for the HC.
Right.
And
I like the idea, pardon me to interject, but the guys can take that up on the cherry picker. You made a great point. We're not having to, in the older style methods of rehabilitation and maintenance, there would be 3 or 4 steps. You get up on the cherry picker, you do your scaffolding, and you try to make it so the material's not going to leak out, and then you've got to pour in the concrete, and then you've got to strip the forms and finish it all. And it's painstaking to think about it, but you're going to talk a little bit about this.
I see you were paying attention to the
Well, I tried, man. But, you know, it looks like you could take the bucket of the melt-based product, the VO, into the cherry picker bucket, mix it right there.
With a
and-
battery-powered drill.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And put it right into place, no scaffolding required or,
Well, it's really a form.
Form,
not a
yes.
scaffold,
Yeah, yeah.
but that's okay.
okay. And then we just literally can put it into place, finish it, and we're done.
Exactly.
Get down and move on to the next one, amazing. And then you're gonna talk about the shotcrete
And the
type?
third product is called Phoscrete SG, which stands for Shotcrete Gunite.
Okay.
And Shotcrete Gunite, it's a dry shotcrete mix, or we call it in the industry gunite.
Okay.
So the liquid comes down one tube, the dry comes down another tube. It's all through an air compressor powered through that. And then a wetting ring at the nozzle
Yep.
wets the dry material.
Now, that's a wedding ring as opposed to a wedding ring. Okay.
Yes.
If you're paying attention there, okay.
Good point. So that gets it, spray applies it at the nozzle, and then the material shoots onto the wall. So-
That's amazing. Now, one thing of most importance, I think, from a maintenance standpoint is, and I know you're gonna wanna talk about this, so I'll throw it out there. No need to do anything crazy with the existing rebar. A wire brush and the mount-based material goes in there, and it actually embraces, if you don't mind me using that word, it embraces the fact that there's rusty rebar underneath it, and it actually doesn't have that big old halo effect. Let's talk about that.
Well, that's a good point, Blair. The material is natural. First off, one thing we haven't mentioned yet is that Phoscrete doesn't mix with water. It mixes with a liquid activator.
Okay,
And
good
the liquid activator is a liquid phosphate activator.
Okay.
It's based on phosphoric acid. And phosphoric acid is a natural rust dissolver.
Aha.
So it actually converts iron oxide to ferric phosphate.
Okay,
And at that point, you're actually stopping the corrosion reaction from continuing.
okay. So you're halting the
Yeah.
corrosion from further corrosion, so to speak.
You're keeping corrosion from propagating itself.
Containment.
Yes.
Okay.
And because phosphorate is an acidic material, when you repair a wall, vertical, overhead, horizontal, anywhere where you have rusting rebar, which causes, and let's go explain this a little bit better.
Yeah, I think it's worth fleshing out.
Back.
Because these are painstaking steps in the field
Right.
for the field crews.
Yeah, if you're out there doing demolition
Yep.
and you've got rebar that's getting corroded,
Yep.
meaning it's rusting, that means that the rust is forming on the outside of the rebar
Yep.
and it is expanding.
Yep.
And then when it expands, it causes the concrete to crack. And when the concrete cracks, it allows for ingress of more water, more CO2,
Yep.
more chlorides.
And the cycle continues.
And then that makes even more corrosion and more rust and more spalling, and before you know it,
Yeah.
you've got a giant
Hole. Like the pictures you showed of the hole in the bridge, and I think
Exactly.
it was Yakima. It is basically like looking down at the road below. I mean,
Right.
and you guys fixed that in a matter of an hour or so by putting some false formwork up underneath and putting the mount-based product in, and that was the HO?
HC.
The HC, the horizontal. And by the way, if you are an owner of an airport runway or taxiway concrete, this material, the HC, is all approved now with the U.S. Army Corps and the likes of that, FAA and whatever.
Well, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineer has a specification.
Okay.
And they say we want these particular
Yep.
requirements for rapid runway repair, rapid setting concrete repair materials. So our material meets all those criteria, actually exceeds all the criteria
Wow.
for that. They don't go out there and approve the
Oh,
material.
okay. Good
But
point.
they do test it and
Yep.
then they will publish it. We're going through the testing right now with them, but we've already completed all the independent testing
Okay.
to make sure we meet the flexural strength, the compressive
Yep.
strength. And most materials that they call for a 3-hour compressive strength of at least 3,000 PSI. A unique capability of Phoscrete is we have a 1-hour compressive strength of 4,000 PSI.
I was going to say 5. If we had a good day, we might get 5.
Well,
but
we
4
always
for
want to
sure.
actually say a little bit less than what we hit.
Which is pretty amazing when you
Yeah.
think about it. You know, if you're looking at a 28-day break on a typical basement concrete foundation pour, I mean, you're looking at a good amount of days before we get that kind of PSI.
Right.
You're getting it in an hour. I
Right.
mean,
So-
traffic on in an hour.
The FHWA says 2,000 to 2,500 PSI to open a road for traffic.
Amazing.
So in many cases, we can open a road for traffic in less than 1 hour.
Look, if that doesn't get you guys excited when you're watching this video, you're in the wrong business. I mean, we're talking about coming in, mixing up the material, whether we're horizontal or vertical, and literally an hour later, we're putting traffic on it, or you're moving on to the next job.
Exactly.
I couldn't say enough about the product.
And when you calculate your total cost in place, everybody says, well, what's the cost of the material?
Yep.
What's the cost of the labor? Am I going to sit around for 3 hours waiting for my concrete to set and be
Yep.
ready?
Yep.
What's the cost of the demolition? What's the cost of the traffic control? What they don't ever count when they figure that out is what is the cost of that lane being closed
Oh my gosh,
for so
yeah.
many hours to be able to open it up for traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. By the time you start backing traffic up like that, I see it on I-75 all the time, and it's like it takes all day to get rid of that congestion once it's backed up. Let's talk about the shotcrete type application. That is intriguing to me, that it goes in at such a low slump, it like gets shot up in there and sticks like glue, and the guys finish it off and they're ready to go.
Well, our FRP fibers that are in the SG material actually kind of needle themselves right into the wall and they stick.
Amazing.
Most every one of our materials, the VO and the SG and even the HC, has a unique property in that it can bond not only to clean, dry, sound concrete, but it bonds to itself with no cold joints.
Unbelievable. One thing I do want to point out, if this is a Publix grocery store, or I should say a warehouse facility where they store all the ice cream, this was the little things that amazed me. Like, you can do this in sub-zero conditions or freezing conditions, Brian, without any problems.
Well, that actually is a really good point, and that's kind of the tip of this week, which we might have to redo the lead-in,
Yeah.
is
Now we can always surprise the viewers.
That leads
They
you-
never know what's coming.
that,
We're going to
Phoscrete-
talk about the beanie in a minute.
Phoscrete is a cold weather repair material. Every other material, not every other, but most other cementitious-based concrete repair materials require water to mix with them.
Yep.
And if you mix with water, the freezing point of water is
32?
Oh, that's right. He's
That was
from
a trick
He's
question.
from
Was that
Canada.
a zero? Okay.
32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0
Okay.
degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
And if you get below that, you can't really do a lot of cold weather concrete repair because you're going to be dealing with ice. The water is going to freeze up. Not even to mention the long times that it takes for the material to set in cold weather. Phoscrete gives off an exothermic reaction. The liquid activator in Phoscrete has a freezing point of minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that means you can work...
Minus 20.
Yes, minus 20. So you can work in temperatures below zero,
Wow.
below freezing, without any problem. We have a fast set admix that
Yep.
speeds up the set time in cold weather. And if you're working in a freezer floor, you're working out on a runway in the winter, so long as you don't have ice and snow on the road or in the freezer, you're able to do these repairs very, very fast. Open them up for traffic, open them up for
Amazing.
forklift traffic, anything in super
Truly amazing.
short times.
And for my friends in Coachella Valley, maybe our friends in Coachella Valley, we also have the ability to take the material and cool it down prior to installing it in the high desert climate. So if it's
Yes.
115 degrees in downtown Palm Springs and we're trying to do a concrete repair, we can cool the aggregate if need be, but more importantly, we can cool the liquid.
Cool, the activator. Yes.
The activator,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you really need to do is take a cooler. We have a 150 quart cooler that we recommend that
Yep.
you use. Put in as many as 16 jugs in there.
Okay.
And cool that down below 60. The colder
Yep.
it is, the longer your working time.
Awesome.
The guys who are working
It's a lot of tips for
and
the
the
week.
girls who are working on concrete repair,
Yep.
when they do that, as they get more comfortable with it, they know how much working time it
Yep.
is. But we are a fast setting, rapid return to service, high early strength concrete repair material.
I think what it comes down to is this: if you don't want a quick, efficient, economical, amazing concrete repair, don't bother watching any of the videos.
Oh, it's too late. They've already watched
But
it aspire.
if that's what you're aspiring to do, we're going to take you into the Better Roads Radio episode. We're going to add 2 episodes with Brian doing a talk for the people at the engineering firm Cherry Weber. And it was a very interesting talk because there's a lot of questions going back and forth. And again, if you guys are interested in doing some PDH credit hours, feel free to give Brian a call here. He's going to give you his contact
As a charter
information
member
soon.
of the IPMA Academy, we are
Yeah.
partnering with these guys and being able to provide PDH hours for the information. We're talking about our mount technology. It's not a sales pitch, it's
Yeah, it's
informational.
education. And,
That's
and,
right.
and you know us, I mean, we try to give all the tools in the toolbox to our Circle of Pavement Management rock stars because we love you guys and we love sharing. There's no sense keeping this a secret any longer, Brian. What would you like to say in closing about the beanie?
Well, we have this Phoscrete beanie that keeps you warm when you're working in cold weather concrete repair. And all you have to do is send an email to info@phoscrete.com and say that you watch Blair and Brian on the IPMA Tip of the Week, and we'll send you one of these beanies free of charge.
Unbelievable. How good is that? So, listen,
Now you gotta put it on.
Okay. I gotta put it on,
It's a toque.
So, I have a toque now, and I'm ready to go out and do some cold weather concrete repairs, and I don't care how much this stuff costs. I mean, if it gets done in an hour and I can put 40,000 cars a day or 140,000 cars a day back on the turnpike, I'm all about that, Brian.
Well, yeah.
You know, I listened to the turnpike guys, and you know, we talked a little bit about the port authorities and that, Brian. It's like, when it comes to cost, not everybody looks at getting traffic back, getting those lane closures out of the way in less than an hour sometimes, an hour 15. But let's talk about the benefits of getting traffic moving. I mean, you live in a pretty busy city in Florida.
I live in South Florida.
I'm in Metro Atlanta. It's like, it's chaos all the time. Traffic. I mean, if you block traffic, 8 lanes of traffic for an hour, that's okay. But if you do that for like an entire day while you're replacing panels and all that stuff, that's just ludicrous. So
Well,
let's
when
talk
you work
about
with
that.
contractors, you work with maintenance crews, you take a look at what is the cost of my material, the cost per pound. That's one key factor in total in-place cost. Another factor is how much labor, how much time am I spending, how much lane closures do I have? All these factors can be quantified, and when they look at all those, Phoscrete is often the lowest in-place cost repair material. So
You gotta look at all the costs. As an estimator,
And
I'm trying to figure this
none of
out.
them ever figure out the cost of the traffic. You know, there's plenty of estimates out there that say, how much does it cost to keep a lane closed?
Yep.
So if Phoscrete in 1 hour can open up a road for traffic, then that has to have some additional value to the public, to the state, to the contractor in terms of turning repairs around faster.
Yeah, absolutely. We could go on forever. But in the interim, feel free to hit Brian up on an email or a phone call
Yep, feel
if
free
you'd
to
like
reach out
to
to us.
learn more.
info@phoscrete.com, and remember, you
Yep.
can get your own toque by just emailing info@phoscrete.com and saying you saw Blair and Brian on.
The tip of the week. Now, how can they get a hold of you if they've got to find out right now about these melt race-based products? Where are they going to
Just
find you?
visit our website at phoscrete.com.
Phoscrete.com. What's your phone number, Brian?
Brian? My phone number?
Well, if you don't mind, is that okay?
Now, I'm married, so.
Okay, I understand.
727 944 4368. That's my cell.
You have it, folks. This is Blair, and this is
Brian.
signing off with your IPMA Tip of the Week. If you need concrete repair, you need Brian.
You need Phoscrete.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Joe from Powerhouse Paving. I'm here with Blair Barnhart, and we're going to go ahead and mix some Phoscrete for you today. The first step is to remove all the damaged concrete. Fortunately, we don't have any damaged concrete, so we have an empty bucket. We're going to mix the Phoscrete in first, followed by the activating agent. And after that,
Oh, by the way, you can smell that, Joe. There's no scent to it at all.
yeah, not at all. So then after we mix those two, we're going to go ahead and start stirring it together.
Kind of
So it
smells
takes
like
about-
oatmeal, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of. It takes about 30 seconds to start. You want to get all that water to the top. Start a little bit more. Start tamping it down a little bit.
And by the way, Joe, this is a sample. It's not something we take out in the field and do that's a bigger pail and a bigger operation.
Absolutely.
I think it's good for them to know that.
Would you say that's all right? Yeah.
As long as we get all the dry stuff mixed with the water, that's the important thing.
A little bit more over here, right?
And the working time in the field for this is about 15 minutes to get it out, troweled in. Looking good, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just tamping it down now. I'll get all the water to the top, and then I'll pour it into the smaller cup so we can let it harden in that one. That's about good, right?
Looking good, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour a little bit in here. Maybe I'll pull it.
Yeah. Oh, maybe you should put that on top of the paper. We don't want to mess up James' desk. See your fibers in there?
Yep. And keep it strong.
That really helps with the flexural strength.
Yep. Instead of rebar, you got that. And after we tamp it down, we'll just leave it for about 5 minutes.
Is there some, can you put all this stuff in there?
Probably fit a little bit
Because you're
more.
going to want to fill it up to the top for your business holder. Look at that. Oh, yeah.
A little bit more as well.
Those are 30 millimeter fibers. When they do the application on the vertical, it goes to 20 millimeter. Those are the 20 millimeter fibers there.
And they don't get stuck at all. They compact, they mix right up
Yep.
with it. They're not stiff at all.
If you want to pull 3 of those long ones out of there, and bring them upright for your business card holder.
3 to this side, I'll stick them right in there.
Let's see, those other ones are a little bit longer, Joe. If you want, it's up to you.
I'll use these for now.
Okay. There's one. It's kind of like a birthday cake, isn't it?
Excellent.
Okay, so we'll wait a couple of minutes and we'll come back and Joe's going to reveal the Phoscrete business card holder. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss this, right, Joe?
Absolutely, 5 minutes.
Joe, are you ready to strip?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, let's do it.
So it's been sitting for about 5 minutes. It's hard as a rock. It got kind of warm around the edges. I'm gonna rip it off the sides. Ooh, might be harder than I think.
It's not easy to get Joe to strip.
There we go. As hard as a rock.
What are your thoughts on that, Joe?
I'm very impressed in how fast it's set up. I think it was kind of unique how it got really hot.
Yeah.
It was the exothermic reaction, and it's just solid as a rock so fast. I can't believe how fast it set.
You could actually put your business cards in there,
Absolutely, I got to get them from my desk, and then I'll be able to stack them in
and you
there.
got a little sticker there.
I'll
Okay.
put the sticker on there for the Phoscrete.
Now, Brian usually puts a little cork in the pail as well, so you can put it on the bottom of the holder there. But isn't that amazing?
Absolutely, it really is.
Any final thoughts for your
I'm just
circle
thinking
of pavement management rock
I'm
stars?
thinking of all the different ways we could apply this technology. I think we're going to be able to save on a lot of people's budgets and give them a much higher quality piece of work when we're finished.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for having us out, Joe.
No problem. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Do you want to give the viewers your email address in case they want to get a hold of you?
Absolutely, absolutely. So once again, my name is Joe Rodriguez from Powerhouse Paving. We're based out of Long Island, New York. My email is j.rodriguez, RODRIGUEZ @powerhousepaving.com.
Go Powerhouse.
Go Powerhouse.
Later.
See you later.
There you have it, folks. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.
See ya.
Thank you for watching our IPMA Tip of the Week. We love serving, love right there, our circle of pavement management rock stars. I'm Shelley Hansel and I am out of here!
Thanks again to IPMA Charter members Whitaker Contracting for sponsoring this episode.